Shared tonight. What I'm seeing is a consistency, and again, American patriots stepping up to the plate, doing what matters. Our children's future and our grandchildren's future is dependent upon how many people are willing to step up to the plate and take action and be part of the solution. And so I want to thank every candidate that is here today who have made that decision to step up to the plate. Guys, campaigning is no joke, okay? Yeah. It is like so many tireless hours that you're putting out there. You're knocking on doors, you're making phone calls, you're getting literature made, you're doing all sorts of activities trying to manage a team to get a job done. And my hope and prayer is that the right candidates will have the opportunity to take office and turn this ship around. So my name is Jamie Milton. I am running for U.S. Congress in the 14th District of Illinois. A little bit of background on me. I come out of the marketplace. I've been running businesses for the past 25 years at every level of business imaginable. Got my start in sales, so cold calling, door knocking, doing all the stuff that those skills certainly are transferable when you're campaigning. My last position held, I was vice president of a manufacturing facility that made pellet mills for our farmers in America. Pellet mills are basically machinery that creates animal feed and animal bedding to support our ag markets throughout the nation. So this past September, I was in a season of transition, and I thought I would just go into another business. I'll go into another business, I'll help get them organized, make them profitable, and I'll move on to the next business. That is the history of what my career has been. So encouraged with what Brett had shared. You know, I am so deeply encouraged that people are being bold about what the real solutions are. We can sit here and talk about finances. We can sit here and talk about all the tangible things that need to change. But we have a deeper rooted issue, and it is spiritual in nature. My campaign is based on the verse that says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and seek my face and pray and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. And guys, I don't know about you, but really the temperature in the atmosphere is that this nation is at the precipice of turning really dark really fast. My hope and prayer is that enough American patriots are stepping up to the plate that we just might have enough hope to turn this ship around before it crashes into an iceberg. I had someone tell me, Jamie, you need to give a message of hope. People don't want to hear about the pessimism. They don't want to hear about the negativity. I don't want to come across as unrelatable as someone who is not in touch with what every American citizen sitting in this room and outside these walls are dealing with. The fact of the matter is, I have paid more for each gallon of gas that I have put in my car this week than I have in a long time. When we were under Trump's policies, I paid $38 to fill up my 4-cylinder Jeep. I just paid $81 today for that same tank of gas within that same car. It's highly concerning. Carton of eggs, $5. We know how much milk is going for these days. Quite frankly, I don't know how families are making it that have several children within the household. I'm having a hard time figuring it out with just myself and my husband in our household. So I think it's really important that we are realistic with what the American people are dealing with today. And then we need to obviously talk about those solutions and what it's going to take to turn this around. So again, I come out of the marketplace. I do have the knowledge base to bring economic opportunity to our districts. You know, I've had job creation. We've expanded businesses. We have helped businesses to be profitable in bringing more opportunity for jobs into the district. That's certainly something I look forward to bringing to the table. I have been with my husband for 21 years, just like Matt. We've got that in common. So that was back in 2001 then. And love my husband. He's been a tremendous blessing to my life. I have a daughter who is out on her own. She has her own mortgage to pay, and she blessed us with our first granddaughter just a year ago. My granddaughter will be turning 1 year old on the 16th of this month. Guys, I look into the eyes of my granddaughter, and I am extremely concerned about the future state of this nation and what sort of nation she will be raised in, and that is a big driving force into why I have decided to step up to the plate to be part of the solution. You know, each one of us as individuals, we are one person, but collectively together, we can really get a lot done. And so, first and foremost, as far as my platform is concerned, the U.S. Constitution, hands down, must be guarded and must be protected at all costs. The quote,
Amen.
The quote that I will share with you as I was really contemplating on this campaign is that I will no longer stand idly by while the foundations of our great nation are being destroyed. I won't tolerate it. So that is the reason why I'm running. The U.S. Constitution needs to be protected. Life absolutely needs to be protected. When I look into every face that is standing here before me today, I recognize that each one of you are image bearers of your Creator, who have been created for a divine purpose to carry out a destiny and a purpose in this earth. And who are we to rob these, the most vulnerable among us from the opportunity to come in and have life and be participating members of our society? I'm 100% pro-life and will fight for the lives of our children that do not have voices to fight for themselves. I had someone ask me on a recent interview by a certain organization, you say that you want to give people medical autonomy over their bodies when it comes to vaccines, but how does that cross-transfer over when it comes to giving a woman a right to choose what she does with her body? And that answer is very simple, which is that that child's life has constitutional rights and protections just like we do as individuals. And so we are not denying the mother the right over her body. We are actually denying that child's constitutional right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Amen.
Our borders absolutely need to be secured. There's an invasion that is happening at our border, and we've got to get this under control. The numbers are absolutely staggering. There are two sides to every coin, right? This nation is a beacon of light and hope to nations around the world. There is a reason why so many people want to come in and be a part of our society. And we want to invite those people in, but we need to make sure that they understand our Constitution, what this nation stands for. There's a process when it comes to immigration. What I don't stand for is the invasion that's happening at our borders. We have young girls that are actually being raped down at the border every single day, and we are allowing it to happen on our watch. We know that there is an influx of fentanyl that is coming in through the borders that are killing our youth. We know that there are terrorists that are actually gaining access to this nation. The last time I looked at the numbers, we have 140 nations that have been given access through our southern border. Recently, I came to learn that the, oh my goodness, help me with the word. Let's just say the thugs in Mexico, okay? The cartel, thank you. The cartel has actually announced to these nations that the borders are open and you can actually come in through these borders. And so we are actually funding the cartel, and then the abuses that are happening, the humanitarian rights issues that are being violated at our border is being allowed under our current administration's watch, and this absolutely has to be stopped. We have to protect our borders. When it comes to fiscal responsibility, to me the solution is quite simple. When we actually study our Constitution, do you know that there are many federal programs that are in existence today that are not supported by our Constitution? To me, that seems like a pretty simple solution to bringing fiscal responsibility back to our government. Programs like the Federal Department of Education has no constitutional basis to be in existence today. Those programs are supposed to be run at the state level, and we need our community and our moms and our dads to be taking an active part in their children's education. And so there is no constitutional basis for programs like CRT, transgenderism, all this stuff that is being taught at our schools right now. And so I am for dismantling the Federal Department of Education, returning that power back to our states and to our parents. One of the solutions that I have as it pertains to that, I would like to have every parent review the curriculum before the start of that school year to create accountability and to create synergy between our educators and our parents. This is how we can get everybody involved, and this is also another way that things aren't going to be snuck in to the education system that we're not even aware that our children are being taught. And so that is a solution that I'd like to bring forth as far as fiscal responsibility. Now, if we begin to dismantle some of these federal programs that are not constitutionally supported, that means that those funds come back to the state, they come back to our pockets as American citizens for us to, again, take part in our local elections and to make active decisions on how we would like that money spent and what sort of communities that we want our families to be a part of. And I think that that would be excellent to be able to do that. When it comes to education, guys, when we look at the mess that is happening within our education system right now, I just learned, actually Beth, who's joined us tonight, thank you, Beth, for coming in. She shared at our Yana group that in Peru, Illinois, they have placed litter boxes in the hallways for children who identify as cats to be able to urinate in the hallways, and that's how they want to support these children. I'm thinking, what on earth has happened that we have lost our compass as it pertains to truth? Our children are the most impressionable among us. They have very active imaginations. We are feeding them this poison, and it is absolutely going to be detrimental to society. When we think about even the numbers, I was looking at the numbers the other day when it comes to transgenderism. I think those numbers were around 1%. It's climbing up to 7% and higher. And I don't think it's because children are confused. I think it's because we're pumping this poison into their impressionable minds. And we have to stand up. We have to be their protector. And we have to stand for truth. And we have to be that wall of righteousness for our children so that they are not being devoured by this evil that's taking place within our education system. When I look at the issue of law and order, God is the God of order, and we have an enemy who is the God of chaos. And when I look at what our left agenda is looking to roll out in this nation, they are looking to increase chaos and decrease order. There is absolutely nothing good that is going to come out of that program. I 100% support our law enforcement officers, ensuring that they have the tools that they need to succeed, ensuring that they have that they are funded for things like mental health. I don't know, unless you've served in the military, such as this gentleman here, you've served on a police force. We can't pretend to know what our officers are dealing with on a daily basis. Every time they stop someone in traffic, there's got to be that adrenaline that's pumping. You just don't know what you're going to encounter. And then God forbid if you do encounter a situation that turns south, that takes a mental impact on our officers. I had met with some officers recently that said, you know what, we really want paid training. We really want mental health check-ins to make sure that our officers are healthy when they hit the street and can do a good job. And so I support our law enforcement. Energy independence. Why on earth is the Biden administration pushing for us to become dependent on another nation when it comes to energy? It is ludicrous, it is absurd, and the only motivation that I can think of is that someone's pockets must be lined, or we must have some sort of owing that we have to another nation as to why we want to make ourselves dependent on a nation like China. When you look at the energy bill, this green new energy that we've all heard a lot about, 95% of those components come from China. Do you guys feel good about putting your faith in China, a nation who vehemently is opposed to our American traditional values, a communist nation that has absolutely nothing in alignment with this nation? I don't know about you, but that doesn't make me feel good at all. I've been asked by many people, what are your top 6 issues? It's like, guys, I feel like I've got a deck of cards in my hand that could be shuffled on a daily basis to pick what are my top 3 today. With the way things are rapidly changing on a daily basis, the direction that things are going on a daily basis, we really need good candidates that are going to stand up to this evil. And one thing that I would share as well is that we need to recognize the spiritual side of things, right? When you think about Washington and how dark on a spiritual level Washington is, we need to send patriots to Washington who understand what they are dealing with on a spiritual level. We also need people who cannot be bought, people who have the backbone to stand up in the face of evil. And I really think that what is required in order for a person to be able to walk those things out and do that is you have to have a healthy fear of your Creator, to understand that we are going to give an account for the things that we say as well as the things that we do not say. And I absolutely have that fear of the Lord, that I feel that we have a responsibility to protect those who cannot protect themselves. We have a responsibility to stand up for truth, justice, and righteousness. And so when I think about what is the DNA that makes up Jamie Milton, I would describe myself as a justice warrior. I would describe myself as an advocate, and I would describe myself as a protector. And I feel that we are vulnerable in just about every facet of society. We need protectors to step up to the plate, to protect our citizens, to protect our children, to protect our grandchildren, and say enough is enough. We are not going to tolerate the evil that has infiltrated our nation. And so with that, I would say on a practical level, some of these issues feel so big. They seem so big. What can we do as voters? What can we do as citizens? I firmly believe we need to open up our doors to our neighbors. We need to begin to break bread with people. We need to begin to have discussions about what are the things that we can agree on. I want to pay my bills. I'm sure you want to pay your bills. We want our children to prosper. We want our grandchildren to prosper. These are things that we can agree upon. Let's start there, and let's begin to branch out on maybe some of the other topics that we don't necessarily see eye to eye on. But we've got to help our neighbors to bring down the walls, open up communication, and see each other in our humanity. I feel like as a society, we have just lost our humanity as people. We've stopped looking at each other as people. And so we have to begin to love our neighbors. You know, the foundational principles in the Christian faith is love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. And so that means all differences aside, we've got to begin to love each other again if we're going to build those bridges, build those communities, and as Matt shared on tonight, get people fired up, get them to wake up and to not give up. We've got to spread the message of hope that together we can accomplish great things. And so with that, I would just close in saying again, my name is Jamie Milton. I am running for U.S. Congress in District 14, and I hope that you feel inspired. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, but together, I believe we can come together and get that done. So thank you for your time. And I guess with that, I will just close and say, please visit our candidates, ask questions. We want the hard questions. We want to know what's on the hearts of the people. That certainly helps us in our campaign as well to know what are some of the unique things that every person is dealing with. So please do open up that dialogue with our representatives tonight. Thank you again for your time.